In this section, we begin to study Chapter 5, the third part of reuse design strategy, context. The form compatibility strategy of architectural symbiosis. The term context, which originates from linguistics, means the logical relation of context in a linguistic environment. That is, the continuity and the connection between the front part and the back part. In the last lesson, we have discussed the symbiotic strategies of the new and old space content. Architecture is a complex of content and form. In this section, the design strategy of the symbiosis between context and architecture mainly focuses on the intuitive and materialized expression of architecture form. Form is composed of external features such as architecture form, scale, material, and combination relation, and is an important carrier of historical context. In the historical environment, people get and form the understanding and the intention of architecture and its history through the most intuitive image perception, and the overlapping of some intentions will further form the expression of the historical environment. Therefore, form expression is the main way to spread historical information. In the process of historical building reuse, the historical context needs to be transmitted through form. Therefore, the architectural form is the part that we must pay attention to in the creation of reuse. When you design the form of historical building regeneration, you may always face the balance between new and old. Is it integration or contrast to express the new and old overlapping in form? The old historic body carries deep historical and cultural value and needs to be protected. On the other hand, it is gradually aging and needs to be renewed. The new body involved in the historical building will inevitably present the state of overlapping between the old and the new. You can imagine when we are in form design, if the historical information of the historical building is missing seriously or the new information is too large, will the overall environment atmosphere be insufficient? In this way, the historical value of the historic building may be destroyed. Therefore, in the design process, there is no clear boundary between the strategy of integration and contrast, and there is no fixed pattern for new and old focus. The key is to grasp the degree between new and old overlap. In the historical environment, the symbiosis between historical building and the context should be expressed as the compatibility of architectural form. This compatibility is manifested in the form shaping, material expression, and detail processing. Only the form compatibility can make the context in the state of maintaining or developing. The form compatibility strategy in this section consists of form classification and material correlation. Form classification in the reuse of historical building refers to the use of typology, which requires the elements of subsequent intervention to establish a certain potential logical relationship between historical elements and, in a deeper sense, strengthen the authenticity of historical building, thus realizing the complementary integration of the new and old architecture in the whole relationship. The recreation in the historical environment must be connected with the historical environment, no matter the integration or the contrast. The form between new and old buildings must reach the harmonious state to realize the symbiosis between architecture and context, which is also the key of good reuse design. In the design of architecture form, we should not simply use pictographic technique. Raphael Moneo questioned pictography, which is an arbitrary dismemberment and use of historical forms. As an architect skilled in creating in historical environment, Moneo divided the form creation into two stages: type study and form generation. This provides us with an idea for the creation of architectural forms, which is to take the reach of space prototype as a basis of design. On the basis of prototype, we control the proportion of new and old space and detail, and coordinate the space atmosphere of the whole environment. The architectural form classification is divided into prototype abstraction and modulus refinement. Let's start by looking at how prototype abstraction is designed. Prototype abstraction is based on the architectural typology and urban morphology to extract the prototype of the historic building, and use this as the basis to shape the new body of the design. According to the level and depth of prototype extraction, prototype abstraction can be divided into two levels: extraction of facade motif and extraction of image prototype. First, we look at the extraction of facade motif approach. Extraction of facade motif is a relatively intuitive method, which merely shows the extraction of symbols. In this technique, there are two situations of straight continuation and motif transformation. Straight continuation refers to the method of directly adopting the original motif, such as the traditional facade in the reconstruction of the historical district of China. This picture shows the museum complex of Shijing Street in Chengdu. It is located in the historic district of Shijingfang in Chengdu. The new factory building adopts the method of continuation of traditional facade and roof. The picture shows that this method can better realize the feature continuation of the space interface. Motif transformation is a more sophisticated technique that decomposes and translates the form elements in historic buildings or architectural types, avoiding superficial use of symbol stacking. Let's take Norman Foster's renewal project for the new German Parliament building as an example. If you know something about the building, you must know what impressed us most in the glass dome in the top of the 5-segment composition. From this picture, we can see that the copper and glass dome above the hall was badly damaged during World War II. Instead of restoring it as it was, Foster abstracted its prototype into a glass dome 50 meters in diameter and 23 meters in height. As in the blue section of the picture, a glass inverted cone with 360 reflective mirrors hung in the center of the dome, which reflects sunlight, creating a comfortable light environment for the Parliament Hall below. The indoor picture shows the ramp that spirals up and reflects the flow of people on the glass mirror. The overall space is bright and dynamic. People visit and exchange ideas in this transparent, open dome, not only overlooking the city of Berlin, but also having a clear view of parliamentary agenda in the Parliament Hall. Fosters symbolic transformation of the dome prototype converted the formerly heavily enclosed dome into a graceful, light, virtuous body and gave it new features, reshaping the symbolism of the Parliament building and making it a new symbol of the city. It is also a more intuitive and easy to understand transformation strategy. In the next section, we continue to explore the extraction of prototypes.